Welcome to Rise News. You're watching the Global Business Report. Rhoda Sidiri here. We're in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. We are 2 months into the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran. Oil prices are back up to triple digits, and jet fuel prices in Nigeria are still spiking. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, SAN, convened a meeting with aviation players, also regulators, FAA and NCAA, and, well, the outcome of the meeting could suggest, according to This Day newspaper, Nigeria's newspaper of record, perhaps price controls. Arise business analyst, aviation analyst, banking analyst Chika Mbonu is with us. He's touched on this several times. I want to give us his thoughts on this latest development. Chika, good morning to you. Welcome.
Morning, Richard. How are you?
Fine, thank you so much.
Interesting times in the world.
Very interesting.
Nigerian aviation sector again. Meanwhile, when you were in Trump country,
yes,
we touched on this issue,
yes,
this aviation challenge,
yeah,
and because of how important it is. Again, in the news again. Not because of demand or supply, but something more fundamental. Jet Air, one fuel. The lifeblood of aviation, actually. And it becomes so expensive that airlines now are considering shutdowns. Depending on where you read, they say the prices have moved from 1,000 per litre to 3,000 plus per litre. And so the Minister for Aviation, as you have said, and then the NDPRA,
yes, midstream, downstream.
Midstream and downstream have come together because of the importance of aviation to the whole economy. If it shuts down, aviation shuts down, the economy literally will shut down. So they avoid this full-blown aviation crisis. Yeah. Because for most of the airlines, it contributes about 30, 40, 50% of their total cost, depending on who you look at. But why is this happening, Lotus? Why is it happening? There are a couple of reasons. The first one is not just a Nigerian problem, it's a global problem.
Yep. We are now 2 months into this war.
You said already in your write that you're under that when 2 months into this war. So the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East have disrupted supply chains worldwide and push prices up internationally. And so every section of the world is crying. We hear about some airlines dropping their less efficient aircrafts. Some airlines have dropped their less efficient aircraft to enable them, especially the marginal routes, to enable them optimize earnings, especially as cost is moving up. The other thing is the FX problem. FX problem. Airlines earn their revenues in Nigeria in Naira, and but you buy fuel in dollars.
Ouch.
You buy fuel in dollars. So when the Naira weakens, fuel becomes more expensive. Even global, if prices stay the same thing. So that's another major thing. The third thing, which is interesting, is the Nigeria is a fully deregulated markets. Yep. And that means no price fixing, prices driven by market forces, and multiple intermediaries. So part of the problem is that by the time the fuel moves from the importer or Dangote refinery to the depot, to marketer, to the aircraft, to the airport, it becomes layered several times.
Extra fees
several times. And so that's another major problem. So, but how does it compare globally to other countries? I mean, in the US and Europe, prices, of course, market-driven. But what you see, the airlines hedge fuel costs. They anticipate this. And the currencies are more stable. Yep. And financing is cheap. 3% compared to our 30%. Sometimes 35% effective cost, depending. So they absorb shocks better. Middle East, fuel is cheaper there. Supply is local. And government also influence is stronger there. But in our own Nigeria, we have the worst combination. Dollar cost, Naira, high interest rates, weak infrastructure.
Wow.
And this is what that airlines are facing. And so, of course, the multiple supply chain inefficiencies. And that's why aviation fuel here feels disproportionately expensive. Now, in preparing for this program, Reuters, and we have always privilege. Remember, we don't just talk anyhow.
We have analysis.
I spoke to Aliko Dangote very early this morning, around 5 a.m. this morning, on this issue. And he says, I can quote him, that they're considering a couple of things in line with the things government said already. He said that, first of all, they're going to give credit to the airlines. Okay. Because before it used to be cash and carry.
Right.
And for him, listen to this. It's in a free market. He has European markets.
He's exporting to Europe. He's been making headlines exporting to Europe.
Wouldn't do.
Yeah, of course. It's a market.
So he's exporting to Europe.
Yeah.
But remember, we host him in Nigeria here. So he has to look after us first of all. Also. He's arranging, working towards giving the airlines 30 days credit. But remember, that costs money too.
You just took the
because Dangote refinery is the net borrower.
Right.
So it costs money.
Yeah.
But that's going to be sacrificial, because of the thin money. You see, I tell you that aviation business is a glamour business.
You said it.
If you see the AP's guy, the Ibom Air or the American airline, the one of this thing, Enugu Air.
Yeah.
You just say, look, a big airline, glossy, the money must be everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you ask them for it, they don't give you. You'll just be wondering why. But the business is very thin margin.
Yeah.
And so the airlines are actually owing a lot. They're owing a lot to the fuel importers.
Yeah.
And so again, how do you override that? So there are issues. And then they are also considering direct sales to the airlines. But the issue is that they don't have tanks. And then streamlining the number of fuel distributors at airports.
Yeah.
Remember what I thought about the layering of the costs. And of course, I thought about them managing the debts already. And then it so happens that the Naira for crude, the DPK, that's this aviation fuel ATK, is not included in the basket of things.
Okay.
That are this Naira for crude.
Yeah.
And so they're also considering bringing that to reduce the exchange rate issues. So we hope that with that, the president of Dangote Group said they are meeting, and they hope that there are some palliatives that will come out. It won't be like in form of subsidy, but all these ways to enable the airlines their cash flow to better. They're able to get credit and they're able to buy fuel. And then if the layers are reduced, the prices will come down. He says that instead of 3,000, the airlines say they're getting the per liter, they're getting the distance. At his factory gate, it's actually about 1.8.
Yeah.
1.9. So you can imagine.
Is he? I don't know your conversation, but even you. You said the way they're owing. Is he worried about the airlines now owing him? If he's giving them credit later on, they may not be able to pay it back.
I wouldn't know the terms of the credit.
Right.
Smart team might say, please back it up with the bank guarantee.
Right.
It might be. Back it up with a bank guarantry. Or the 30-day credit, clear the one that you have before you buy the next one.
The next one.
Just to make sure that it doesn't become that. The airlines are... Remember the issue, part of the palliatives also included the fact that the federal government wrote off 30% of their debt to FAN, to NCA, and to NAMA, the Express Management Agency, all towards... ameliorating their cash flow challenges to enable them have more money to chase this aviation fuel issue. One
more quick question for you, Chika. What about just allowing them to raise prices? Would that destroy demand or people?
The market is already thinned out. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Between 2022 and 2024, the domestic traffic fell by 15%.
Wow. Okay.
Fell by 15%.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, because of the increase in prices. So if you now move the price anyhow, it becomes, there's a price it reaches now. At the time, it's like, it used to be like, we used to tease ourselves, it says, pay the new ticket or raise money for ransom. Raise money for ransom.
If you go by road.
Go by road. So,
I know you said that before.
And it worries me because with all these Lagos, Calabar, all these things we're building, I hope that there'll be security in them. Because if you build all those roads and then they become kidnapping fronts,
then you wasted money.
So let there be security in them because road journeys can be very, very good.
Yeah.
Good roads, internet.
Rail. You've talked about rail as well. You took was it
Ibadan to Lagos Ibadan. It was lovely.
You took a rail
and nothing has happened since then.
Yeah.
Nigeria, before it used to be on the table that every time we use rail. So all those are not happening. So security is up there is a problem. So if they move prices up, as I told you, domestic passenger traffic actually fell already. It's going to fall more.
Gotcha.
Actually, about 2 million passenger drop between 2022 and 2024. Yeah,
it's a delicate situation. We always appreciate you and your wisdom and knowledge, sharing it with us on this matter. We'll continue to see how things unfold. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you so much.
Thank you.